Hello, everybody. Welcome to Telli Talks, where we talk about life, growth, relationships, and more. I have television star and fitness entrepreneur Monte Taylor in the building with me, y'all.
Ooh, and we got drinks apparently.
Cheers.
Oh my God!
Is
Cheers.
this water?
What,
I've
me?
been drinking water this whole time, so
Oh.
I have a drink, so I can't even talk right now.
Oh, okay. No, I got a little tequila and Sprite. You know, I keep it pretty
Really?
simple. Yeah, yeah.
It's better than water.
It's, I mean, for drinking
like
purposes,
water.
yeah.
It looks like water.
It looks like water.
So tell everyone that doesn't know your journey how you got to where you are today.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna give the Spark Notes version of it.
Spark Notes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Anybody
I love
remember
Spark
Spark Notes?
I used to
Yo.
use Spark Notes all the time, guys.
Oh.
Especially in school.
Trust
Ooh.
and believe, because I wasn't an English and writing type of guy. I was more math and science, so I would never want to read. Like, reading comprehension was just, it was too much.
Spark
So
Notes is key
yeah,
to life.
yeah, that was
Back in the
essential.
day.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
What do they have now that people use as notes?
Oh,
Not
they
called
got
Spark
they got
Notes now.
AI. You know, they can
Way
do
better.
whatever they want.
Way better. They got AI.
Yeah, they get text messages about homework now.
Right.
You
How
know?
to do my homework. What
Literally.
to answer on my homework.
Literally.
Do it
so,
for me.
Yeah, we struggled.
Right.
But yeah, so how did I get here? So I'll just start from when I graduated college with a mechanical engineering degree, and I stayed within that realm for about 4 years. Then the pandemic rolled through. So the last 2 years while I was at that company, I was like, what am I going to do with all my time?
Right.
And at that point, I had started to get into fitness. I, considered putting on muscle. So I was like, all right, let me see how I can change my body. I've never done this before.
Right.
And I ate like a tank. Like I did it the wrong way at first, like the dirty bulk.
You were just trying to put on weight.
I was just trying to put on weight. And I did a lot. And it was not good weight, And then eventually I started dialing in on my nutrition. And then people were like, oh, Monty, like you look like you're working out now. Do you train on the side? And I was like, no, but maybe I should try that out and just see what happens. I started training like on the side during my free time, and I loved it. It just felt like more of my personality. I can be more in touch with people and interact with them a lot more. Whereas like with engineering, it felt like a lot of behind the desk stuff, or, I was in a factory. So it was like a blue collar sort of environment, and it was just, it was tough. So yeah, January of 2022, I decided to quit my job. And then I started my online fitness coaching in March of 2022. And then Big Brother reached out to me via DM, like April of 2022.
A month later, after you completely changed your life.
Literally, yeah. And then from there, I went on Big Brother, got runner-up on that. And then afterwards, I moved to LA and filmed for the challenge.
Where were you living when you transitioned into what you graduated college for to be a fitness instructor?
Yeah, so I was in Philly. So, and I had moved to Philly because I'd grown up in Delaware for the most part. So it was just right up the street, essentially. But like, I moved there and it was a great time, but it was during the pandemic. So things were kind of slow.
Right.
On Wednesday evenings, they have this thing called SIPs, which is like this bar theme all throughout the city, where like from 4 to 10, there's happy hours, there's DJs all over the city. And it's just, I was looking forward to that. And then the pandemic rolled through. Yeah. Right. So I had nothing to do but work out, essentially.
Right.
So
nothing to do but sit in your house.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's depressing. So I was like, I'm just going to lift. So, So yeah, that's where I was. I was in Philly.
So you moved to LA. What was the transition from Philly to LA? Was it after Big Brother?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was after Big Brother. For me, I thought of it as like, and I did like a little cameo on The Bold and the Beautiful, that daytime soap opera. So after that, I was like, you know what? I really feel like I could act if I really put my mind to it. So let me just go out to LA. I'd had some friends already there trying to convince me to move out here.
Right.
And then on top of that, like being in the fitness space, LA's huge for fitness. So I was like, I can collaborate with a lot of different people. So it made a lot of sense to me. And honestly, every time I went to LA, I had a great time, So I was like, I think if I lived there, I'd be fine.
LA is definitely a vibe.
Yeah, you know.
It's a vibe.
it has its moments sometimes where it can be frustrating.
Yeah. It could be a lot. Mm-hmm. It could be a lot, definitely. So, Big Brother, how was that experience for you? Because I feel like every time someone does a reality show, everyone's experience could be amazing, or everyone's experience, it's just different for everyone. So how was that experience for you?
It was Very different. Very different. You know, you're trapped in a house with 16 people. I was in there for 95 days. Plus, there was a quarantine period before that. So it was just a large portion of my life where I hadn't talked to family.
95 days. How many months is 95 days? That's a long time.
A little bit over 3 months. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it was a lot. I think the toughest part about it was just not having like a lot of control over my days and whatnot. Like you're kind of being told what to do, and I mean, you do have some personal freedom, but within the confines of the house, you know. So that part was just tough. So I just felt like I couldn't be myself, you know, and I had to really just focus on the game, which is all I did. I was just like, all right, let me just be what I need to be in order to continue to make it as far as I did. And that was essentially
what was your strategy throughout the process to get you to essentially the end?
Yeah, no, I had watched 6 seasons before I got on the show, and they had recommended that because I didn't know about Big Brother before they reached out.
Right. So you watched this in a matter of what was your time span to watch 6 seasons?
Like a month and a half, 2 months.
Oh, so you're binging.
Oh, binging crazy.
Yeah.
It was like a full-time job, me binging, because I was like, all right.
You're studying it.
Literally studying it. So I just looked at what the winners did every year, and there was a couple of themes that I picked up on. One was like not being perceived as a large threat at any point, you know, being perceived as somebody who's just sort of in the background and whatnot. You can't come off as too much of a danger. And then especially me at my size and height, like they're immediately going to think that I'm some competition beast without me doing anything.
Right.
So that was one thing I had to combat. The other thing was not doing any sort of showmances, you know, so like trying to avoid that as best as I could.
What do you mean showmances?
Oh, you're not familiar with the term showmance?
No, what is a showmance?
So it's essentially when you get into a relationship on a TV show, you know. So and then that's
a new lingo that I've had a lot of reality stars come on, and I've
never mentioned showmance.
Showmance ever.
Wow,
for the years that I've been podcasting.
Yeah, okay.
Showmances, that's a new one.
Yeah, showmance. And then there's bromances too.
I've heard of bromance.
Okay,
I've heard of bromance, but I've never heard of showmance.
Yeah, showmance is a real thing. So they say to avoid that as best as possible, because if you're in a relationship or seen as being in a relationship with somebody, then they just assume that you're 2 votes that are going to go in the same direction.
Right.
Anytime.
So
you know?
Pretty much no alliances. Stay low key.
Alliances are fine. Like you want to be a part of a good, strong alliance, but not with any one particular person too strong and too obvious.
Right.
You know? So that was essentially my strategy. No showmance, be a part of a strong alliance, and lower my perceived threat level.
Right. You're on an alliance, but you're not the strongest one on the alliance to where they vote you out.
Exactly. You never want to be seen as like the strongest competitor or the strongest game player. You want to. That's how I approached it. You know, everybody else may approach it in different ways and have won in different ways, but the trends that I saw was those 3 things.
Right. Yeah. So you became runner up. You were there for 95 days. Mentally, how was that on you?
You know, the experience itself, mentally, when I got out, I was happy. You know, like I was just like, oh, I can't wait to see friends.
Free at last.
Yo, it's literally like prison.
Thank God Almighty.
Yo, like, oh God, I was in there struggling. I was like, I can't wait to get out. You know, like felt like I was in jail. But so the experience itself wasn't all that traumatizing, but it was. I mean, there are certain parts of it, I'll say, because the trusting of people. You know, like in a show where it's a lot. Banking on your social game and how well you can come off to certain people, and sometimes you have to lie to certain folks who, especially the further you get, right? Like people are gonna always think that you have their back, but maybe you do have somebody in mind who's your true number one, you know?
Right.
So that was the hardest part, is like getting out of it and trying to figure out like what are people's intentions, you know, and now being like hyper aware of that. But I'd say a lot of the tough parts about being on the show was really the social media aftermath. That part was terrible. And then just seeing how it affected my family more than anything. What
was this social media aftermath like? Negative?
Yeah. There's negative comments. There's trolls. There's people who, you know, depending on the narrative of your season, they may have wanted you to do the exact opposite of whatever you did, you know? And they'll they'll comment
let you know.
and they'll let you know. Yeah. So
the internet is undisputed every time.
100%. 100%. And, you know, I think for me, I realized like, all right, these people are really meaningless in my life. They don't know who I am. You know, like they're not paying me or anything like that. And then you look at these accounts and they're like accounts with 0 followers, but they're following thousands of people. You know, they don't have a face on there, you know, so it's like, all right, like how am I going to take that person's opinion too seriously? So, but yeah, it definitely affected my parents a lot. My mom to this day still.
Oh man. And how long ago have you done Big Brother?
Big Brother. So September 25th of 2022 was the last day.
A year.
Yeah.
And she's still, you know, it's crazy. I feel like the parents take it on more so than the people that have been on TV, because we learn to have like Teflon skin to just kind of be like, okay, you know, I know they don't know me and I know who I am, so I'm not gonna let it get to me. Initially, naturally, you're just like, damn, like, why are they saying all that? Like, what'd I do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you just get to a point of like, I know who I am. This is who I am, and I can't let people say who I am because I know who I am. And it's like, it's harder for parents because they know what they've raised and they know who you are, and they want other people to know who you are. So they kind of like, they're more on the clap back side of things. You know what I'm
100%.
saying? Like, I used to clap back. I used to have time to clap back.
Really?
And I used to be like, all right, I got time today.
Yeah.
You know, I get to fingering.
Yeah.
So it's like, now I feel like, you know, when people say stuff, my dad's like, that's someone's mother, that's someone's daughter, that's someone's, you know, a dad, you know, and then they apologize and then they redirect and then they're like, oh, okay, you know, she might not be who I think she is, or she's well spoken, or she's not just looks good, but you know what I'm saying? So it's like certain things that I feel like are prejudged like connotations when it comes to like people that don't know you or only perceive you for probably what they showed. You filmed for 95 days, but they probably only showed like 5% of who you are as a person, you know, and with reality TV, that's kind of something that I feel like the audience doesn't understand. Like, just because they're focusing on one portion of who you are doesn't mean that's all of Monte, you know, and that's what makes reality TV hard for a lot of people, you know, and I just feel like that's kind of something that you sign up for it and you're kind of like, all right, let me take it with the punches, and you know it's coming because it's not going to be all peaches and rainbows and, you know, pots of golds. And
you know, it's crazy you say that because I didn't watch a lot of reality TV before Big Brother had approached me about the show, so the only research I did was just binge watching the episodes themselves.
Right. But, and it worked for you though.
Yeah, you know, to an extent, but I think mentally and just with my family, I didn't prepare them for like, and I don't think I was mentally prepared for what the social media aftermath was and how intense these fans actually are and how much of the show being edited a certain way, but there's also live feeds, you know, with Big Brother. So 24/7, they're watching my black ass, you know what I mean? So any moment that I decide to say something maybe not as carefully as I should have, you know, or...
What was the things that you was saying that they was getting on your ass about?
Oh, no. I mean...
Was it like so bad to the point where you're like, all right, come on, y'all could have let that slide? Like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I think things just taken out of context or whatever, you know, like I don't even remember a lot of what I said because I kind of tuned it out or whatever, but yeah, it's just a lot of people just feeling very obligated to say like, oh, their opinion, you know, when it literally, like in that moment, if you looked at the whole conversation or if you see where my heart was with that statement, it wasn't as if I was trying to be malicious or anything like that, you know, so it was just a lot of stuff like that. But
then it's like when you're on camera 24/7, like, you know, reality TV there's so many different platforms of reality TV, but when it's like live broadcast, boom, this is the moment, this is now, this is what you're seeing, and then like you go out and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't even know you saw that. Like you're thinking like it wasn't even seen, and then it's like, oh, it was seen, and my bad, I thought I was, you know, I had a little secret over here or whatever the case may be. So it's like that aspect of reality TV is very different than like, you know, hey, I know I'm going to come film. I know I'm going to have dinner with this person. I know I'm going to, and you know when you're on camera.
Right,
you know,
right.
even when you're mic'd up, you know when you're mic'd up, but it's like with Big Brother, you're not like, you know, you're mic'd up 24/7.
Yeah, there's 100 mics and so many cameras all over. Like, you're not gonna hide from anything, you know.
Right.
And at some point, after some time, like, you're very conscious. I was very conscious of it for probably the first month and a half.
Right.
After that, like, you
don't even think it's there.
Yeah, because what it does is it kind of strips your personality if you continue to be conscious of it. You know,
Right.
like if you're so focused on what
is this watching me?
Watching me and all that, and then eventually, like, you just start coming out. You know, like your personality just starts to exude, and what you would normally say, like when you're with your friends or with your homeboys, might slip out, like when you're on the show and stuff.
Right.
But no, I mean, honestly, I don't look back and think like, oh my God, like, yo, that was crazy. It was just like, all right, that could have been worded a little bit differently. That
it's
sort
human
of stuff.
nature at the end of the day.
And trust me, if people would record everyone 24/7, I mean, I can only imagine what people are actually saying behind closed doors.
Of course.
So it's just, you know.
And that's for everyone, not just like us that, you know, have been on TV, but like for everyone. Like, who's to say that you don't say something that might slip up within a 24-hour time span? You know, I say stuff to myself and I'm like, ooh, damn, did I just say that? You know what I'm saying? Where you're just like, ooh, my bad. And nobody will be around. I'm like, dang, I didn't, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like naturally, like you said, your persona comes out and it just becomes organic, and they're like, okay, now we're watching. You know, now they're tuned in.
Yeah. And then there's also like other stressors. The fact that you're in this house playing this game, super stressed about whether you're going to get voted out each week.
Right.
You know, so now you're not even acting like yourself because you're scared. Now you're trying, like, you're in fight or flight mode.
Right.
Because you're trying to survive. Now you're talking to people, trying to say whatever you can to
survive.
To survive and stay, and try to convince them that you shouldn't be the one to get voted out and stuff.
Right. So what do you feel like the hardest thing for you on that show was?
The hardest thing. I'm not a good liar. I'm not a good liar. I think it was evident too. Like, whenever I had tried in the show, people just caught. Yeah, they either thought I was lying or thought I was, like, I might have even been telling the truth, but I was telling it to someone for like a reason that I needed to advance my game for, and I knew it wasn't coming from like a super genuine place. Yeah. And so when I operate in that space, like, I can exude that, you know, people can see. So I think that was the hardest part, was like trying to
be manipulative.
Yeah. Or just playing the game, you know, essentially. Because in real life, I don't do that stuff. I'm very blunt, you know, I'm from the East Coast. Like, this is what I feel, and this is what I stand on, you know, this is what it is. So I'm not used to like the whole shiftiness of it all.
So now that Squid Games is out, which is a completely different game than Big Brother, but similar because you're in a house together and you're playing games and you get voted out, and there, I feel like there's more strategy in majority of the games in Big Brother than it is with Squid Games. It's like you could just randomly be voted out and you don't even know it, you know? How would you think you would do on Squid Games?
Now, from what I remember, so people get voted out in Squid Games? I thought you get eliminated off the competition.
Yes. Okay. Eliminated, eliminated out of competitions, and then some are like random, sporadic, like eliminations. Where it's just like, you know, player, pick a thing out of a what is this called? The claw thing that grabs, and it's just like, we're randomly doing numbers. So now the first person's definitely going to get out because they got number one.
Gotcha.
You know, where it's like there's no strategy behind. I mean, like, the person that's picking has the strategy, but then the person that's there, it's not like you can athletically make a decision to where your athleticism helps you progress, because now you're in a position to where it's like left or right, I got a 50% chance.
Yeah.
And then I'm dead because I didn't pick the right one. So it's almost, in a sense, can be a game of luck as opposed to strategy and like athleticism or
I guess with that, like, just depends on the competition or the game and whatnot. Because,
like, what about the licking the cookie? Or they lick the cookie and then take the shape out, and it's like a cookie, like a cookie cutter one.
Because I remember seeing the original, like the
movie,
the movie or the series, whatever. But I haven't watched the newest one. But
the challenge.
So with the cookie one, what did you have to do? You licked it, and then
the strategy. Well, you didn't have to lick it, but you had like a little thing.
You had to carve it out.
Yeah,
right.
The cookie out. Mm-hmm. Some people lick it, some people carve it, mm-hmm. but you can't crack the cookie. You have to cut the shape without cracking the actual cookie.
Oh, I do terrible. But
like obviously everybody wants the triangle or the circle mm-hmm. or the square. You don't want the umbrella because the umbrella's got all these curves so it's just like, how would you go about like that? Or like, red light, green light. Are you going to pop a squat when you stop? Like, are you going to, because I heard like there were certain situations where, they would show certain parts, but then when people would stop, it was like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And they're like squatting for a long time. And it's like, how long can you possibly squat without dropping?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like with a lot of that, like I would hope that I would be mentally prepared and I'd be strategic. But when adrenaline kicks in mm-hmm. and you're trying to think while your heart's racing and you're tired and mentally fatigued, like you could fold at any moment,
Right.
So like, I know with the cookie thing, I would have that because I'm not
took you out.
I'm not a steady hand sort of mm-hmm. guy, like I'm a little bit more like, you want me to mount a TV, I can do that, but if you want me to wrap a present, like that's just not my forte. Right. I'm not good with the arts and crafts, but I don't know, with everything else I would just try my best, I guess. But
yeah,
I think I would make it far, but I would probably like, watch what other people are doing and try to pick up on who's making the most sense of their stuff and then pick up strategies as I go.
Right. Yeah. No, it seems like it's so simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like, oh yeah, red light, green light. Like I could do this. But then it's like when you stop and you're in an awkward position, like some people will just like, drop on the floor so they ain't moving.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Or some people will be like, let me, pop a squat. And then mm-hmm. it's just like, how long am I standing in a squat? Why would I choose to stand in a squat position? Mm-hmm. Like, so roll whatever strategy you got going on, So it's just like mentally there's so many games that you think is so easy mm-hmm. going into these like reality show competition games. Even with the challenge, you were on the challenge.
God. Yeah.
So that's another one that's like going in, you're playing games and you still got to have alliances. You still got to, do these challenges. So it's like, how do you go in there preparing for something, knowing that like you're competing with all these people that are probably thinking the same thing you're thinking, like, I'm mm-hmm. trying to win this.
Yeah. I don't think there's any, you could try to get yourself in the best shape, like endurance wise, balance, you can work on your puzzles and all that sort of stuff, work on your math, because that's all part of the challenge and it's known.
Right.
But there's an experience factor that plays in. So people who have done, and I saw it on the show, because you got guys like Bananas and Wes who have been on the show, and Tori,
right.
CT, like they've been on the show for so long, 7+ years, 10+ years, 15+ years. They can kind of pick up on things that they've seen before
right.
or similar things
right.
and make decisions based off of that. Whereas, I'm wet behind the ears, like, I don't know.
Right.
I'm just going to try to finish. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that plays into it. But, there's some smart cookies out there. There's some people who are pretty strategic, but I don't know. You do the best you can. You can't prepare for all that.
Absolutely. So with all this reality TV going on, with all the fitness, online fitness instruction, and fitness guru, how do you have time for your dating life?
That's a good question, because I don't know if I do. I don't know. Like, it seems hard,
right.
Especially being out here in Los Angeles when, everybody's very, my experience, I'll say, is that people have been a little bit more like cutthroat quick, or
right.
if they're trying to convince you that, hey, you should be dating me, like they'll over explain themselves about how much they get into and how great their life is and stuff. And it's like, if you got it, you don't need to talk
factor.
about it. Yeah, like you don't need to talk about
right.
it. Like, I don't brag about mine because I don't need to,
right.
So
you shouldn't have to.
Exactly. So there's a lot of that going on. So I feel like the experiences that I have, I try to limit them nowadays. Like at first I was very like excited, you know, I was like, oh wow, like, you know, I heard of all the beautiful people out here in Los Angeles and stuff. And then you just start talking to enough people where you start to get stained by your experience. And you're like,
Right.
you know, not everybody's as cool as they seem,
Right.
you know, on the surface. Or when someone opens their mouth, you realize like how insecure someone is, even though they may not look like it, you know?
Right.
So, how do I have time for date? I'm still trying to figure that out, honestly. I'll be very honest with you, Telli. Like, I don't have that figured out.
Hey, it's okay. You don't have to have everything figured out right away.
Yeah.
All right. So for everyone that comes on the show, we play this game, and we're going to play a game I haven't played today, so I'm excited to play this.
Okay.
We're doing I Choose Death. I don't choose death, but, you know, that's the game.
Yeah. I mean, we're all going to die, but just not soon, hopefully.
Right. So we're going to pick 2 cards each. Rules of the games. You can't remix. You can give your reasoning as to why you answered the way that you answered. And you can't change why. So you can't remix. You can give your reasoning,
so
but you have to answer. That's the third one.
All right. So I need 2 cards, right?
All right. I'll go first. Let me drink because this is a lot. All right. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. Would you rather have your lung capacity get permanently lowered to 10% of its normal capacity, or become homeless for a year? After that, you are responsible for getting a place again.
Oh, homeless for a year. 100%. That's easy.
Yeah, I agree.
Because to me, I mean, if you got that dog in you, you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
agree.
I mean? Like,
it's I genuinely believe that hustling and ambition is a mentality. Like, if you want it, you're gonna get it. Like, if you're motivated, you're gonna get it. So be homeless, be hopping from house to house, but I'm gonna get that house next year.
Exactly.
And you best believe it's gonna be a nice house, because I ain't gonna, you know, make $1 here and there. Like, I'm gonna bust my ass to get to what I want.
Right.
110%.
And I definitely think that, like, there's so many different stories of people who have been in like really tough situations.
Yeah, Tyler Perry.
Exactly.
Prime
like,
example.
You know, so many. So it's like, you just can't. I'm not gonna have my lung capacity at 10%. I won't be able to breathe.
Exactly. It's either like, do you choose death, literally?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be homeless?
Right.
What's your options? Pick your poison.
Yeah, I'll take being homeless. Okay. All right. So this is. All right. But it's just one statement. Is that right?
Yeah. Read one card or the other card.
Oh, got you. Okay. Would you rather be a conjoined twin attached at the hips, or rip off every one of your own fingernails with pliers?
I'm ripping off my nails. I know it's gonna hurt, but I just would not want to be a conjoined twin. Like, I just wouldn't want to, like, I would want to be my own person. Like, I would love to be a twin that's not conjoined, but I wouldn't want to be a conjoined twin. And then there's conjoined twins that, like, share one body and have 2 heads. Or, like, what do you do when you're attracted to someone or you want to marry someone? Like, you have to agree together for everything that you do. Like, where you go out, when you use the bathroom. Like, hey girl, I gotta use the bathroom. Like, let's go. And you ain't got no choice because I gotta go.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To where I would be like drained.
Yeah, you rip off the fingernails just one time.
Yeah, one time they grow back. You got acrylics, gel-X, all types of options you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got options. So I feel like that's a better scenario.
No, I agree. I would have said the same thing.
I mean, they might hurt. I mean, not might. They will hurt.
They will
but
definitely
it's just
hurt.
Like, I do that over like a permanent lifetime.
Yeah, stuck with somebody
decision.
At the hip is crazy. All
right. Would you rather every time you check another person out, it's ridiculously obvious and you get caught? Or you can only move while making train noises, whether you're walking, riding, or driving. If you stop making train noises, you stop moving. So you walking around like, choo-choo.
Just all the damn time.
All the time.
I'm picking the first one. Yeah.
Every time you check out another person, it's ridiculously obvious and you get caught. I feel like that's easy.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like you get caught, so what?
Right.
Yeah.
If anything, that might help the situation out. Because then it's like, well, unless somebody's with, you know, their significant other, then that's an issue, you know? But even still, it's just like, all right, sorry. You know,
right. My bad.
Yeah.
My mouth reckless.
Yeah.
Like, you just gotta play it off.
Yeah. You're beautiful. You know, like whatever.
You just gotta play it off.
Yeah. I think I'd be smooth with that. All right. Would you rather have the most embarrassing moment of your life recorded and broadcasted on national television?
Terrible.
Or break both your kneecaps at the same time?
Ooh, even more terrible. I don't know what I would do if I would break both my kneecaps. What was the other one?
Have your most embarrassing moment be on national television and broadcast.
My most embarrassing moment, I could see clear as day, and I personally would not want that broadcasted on national TV because it would so be a meme, and I could see it, and it's just like, bam, it's out there.
Yeah.
And it's like every time you see the person, you're just like, oh, you this type of person. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, now you're known for being this type of person.
Yeah.
So I feel like my kneecaps, you know, get them broken, go to the surgeon, get them fixed. Yes.
Oh, that's crazy.
My most embarrassing moment to live to that constantly over and over and over and over all throughout your existence of life until you're who knows how old, and like think about, like let's just say your most embarrassing moment is,
hypothetically, of course,
your most embarrassing moment is, I don't know, you shit it in public. Or you shit on yourself and you didn't know, or who knows, right? Let's just say, not that I did that, okay? But let's just say, and then you're like, oh, you're the shitty girl, or you're the, you know what I'm saying? And you're just known for that? Like, nah.
You don't think people will forget? And
no,
you see,
they never forget.
See, it didn't say anything about like how many people would see, all right, recorded and broadcast on national television.
National television?
I mean,
you did a show on national television. I did a show worldwide. Like E! Network, everybody knows E! Network. You know what I'm saying? Big Brother, everybody knows Big Brother. Like, imagine
having my most embarrassing
your
moment.
most embarrassing moment. And that could be any type of, like, that could be you piss on yourself, you shit on yourself, you queef, you whatever that embarrassing moment might be. Well, I'm just saying, you know. I'm just saying. But it's like, you could barf on something. I don't know. You know, but it's just like taking that moment of vulnerability and like for the world to see, and then you could do just like anything in life. You could do 100 great things, but that one time you do something bad, they gonna remember that one time you did something bad or embarrassing or traumatic or whatever that moment might be. Oh, she did great on the show. He did great on the show. But remember that moment when he shitted on himself? Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That. I don't want that.
But I think people ultimately forget at some point, you know?
Until the next person shits on themselves.
Exactly. There's always going to be another one. You know what I mean? Like,
what if that doesn't happen until like 10 years from now? Like to live on. I'm breaking my kneecaps, 6 to 8 weeks recovery, and I'm back.
6 to 8 weeks? Really? Is that how quick it is?
I mean, through therapy.
Oh. So you got good therapists. That's what you think.
It's not that bad. Stem cell, my knees up.
Oh, okay.
You know, right. Or even if it's longer than 6 to 8 weeks, even if it's 10 months, like I'd rather deal with that than 10 years of like embarrassment and then you got reruns. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's take it off the network, please.
That's
throw it away. You know how they got TBT? Throw it away.
Yeah. They're just going to keep running Thursdays. Back whatever clip that is, you
like,
know?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then if you're a type of person that doesn't care what people say and you're just like, oh, okay, I had this embarrassing moment, so I'm human, then okay. But I feel like every day if I go out to eat with my man and they're like, oh, you the shitty booty girl.
Let me take a picture.
You know, you're peeing your pants, girl.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever that moment may be. You're just like, damn, like I can't get a break. You know, you break your kneecaps, people feel sorry for you. They don't laugh at you. You know,
that's true.
It's a different circumstance.
Yeah.
Of like, you know, situation. I'd rather, not that I want pity, but I would rather someone be like, oh my gosh, can I help you?
Right.
Than be like, ha ha.
Ha. Yes.
I got you.
Yeah.
I saw you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah.
different interaction with people if different circumstance.
Okay. Fair.
That's my logic in my reasoning why I
That's
want
fair.
my busted kneecaps.
That's fair. You didn't sell me, but I understand where you're coming from.
So you taking the most embarrassing moment.
I take that.
So what do you feel like would be the most embarrassing thing that could ever happen to you on national TV?
The most embarrassing thing. I mean, shitting yourself is pretty embarrassing.
I'm just saying.
On national television, where
That's
it's
nuts.
like visible and people know you did.
You just
like,
got big dookie spot on white pants.
You just got a whole turd.
Yeah. Dangling, hanging. Like, no, not doing it.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Oh yeah, I don't know if I'd want to do that.
I'm just saying it said most embarrassing.
Yeah.
So like you got to think of the worst case scenario.
Yeah, I think shitting yourself is pretty, the most embarrassing.
One.
It is tough, but I don't know. I still feel like at some point they'll forget. I would hope,
No one's gonna forget that.
No, I wouldn't. I
would never forget if someone. I'm like, I saw that moment.
Yeah, and you'd remember their face too.
Oh yes, 110%. You the shitty booty person.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
The guy who sharded himself.
Oh, this is a sharded. That's a good one. This
That's
is not a good one.
Not a good one.
I had to retract.
Okay.
Oh, this is a good one.
Oh my God. Oh, that's terrifying.
Great one.
Ooh. Oh. Yo, I think I got a good one for you.
Okay, go ahead.
You want me to go for? All right.
Yeah, go.
All right. Would you rather have a terrifying sleep paralysis episode every month, or restart your life where you're going to have a really bad abusive childhood?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, think about that one.
Sleep paralysis? You can't move.
Have you ever had sleep paralysis before?
Never.
Oh, okay. See, I have. And that's, you don't want that.
Oh my gosh. I've never had sleep paralysis. But there was one time, one time in band camp. No, I'm just saying. There was one time I went to Vegas and I had a brownie and it was a weed brownie and I didn't know it was a weed brownie and my fat ass ate the whole brownie, this big of a brownie, all right? And I was high off my ass and I was stuck. Like I could not get up. I could not move. Everything felt heavy to where I felt like I had sleep paralysis, but I was awake and I was like, bring me back to LA. I got to go back home. I'm too high right now. Like I feel like I'm 3,000 pounds. I cannot lift my arm, my finger. I was so high and I felt so heavy that I was like, I don't want this feeling. Like I never ever in my life been, I don't do edibles, but I've never in my life been that high to the point where I was just like, well, what the fuck? Did y'all give y'all drugged me? I'm going off on everyone. Like never again. Y'all messed up my whole entire trip to where I'm loaded. I'm wasted. I'm like, this is, I'm done. Done. Bring me back to LA. Bring me to the airport. I got to go.
It's a terrifying feeling.
Terrifying feeling.
Because you don't know when it's going to end either, Like, you just like, I'm stuck here.
Yes.
Higher than a month.
Yeah. So sleep paralysis all the time, you said?
Once a month.
And the other one was?
You have to restart your life with an abusive childhood.
Ooh. I would probably have to do the abusive childhood only for the simple fact that I feel like I can possibly help people that might be going through things and just speak about my situation and kind of just use it as motivation as opposed to like, dwelling in my trauma. That's how I would handle it. And try to make it like a resilient situation. And, because people go through it all the time and like, it hinders them or they like hold it in to where it causes deeper rooted issues. But I think like I'm strong enough of a person to like be resilient from that like abuse. You know what I'm saying? So I would do, I mean, I wouldn't want to. But
but you got two options.
I would do the abusive childhood and just kind of be like, use it as something that I can help motivate others as opposed to like have people feel pity for me.
Yeah.
For what I've been through.
Well, I think it's good that I could tell there's like a level of there's a level of self-confidence that you would be able to like overcome.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like mentally, if I would rather have that than like, put it on one of my siblings. Like I would know I can, I'm strong enough to deal with it than to put it on other siblings that I might not feel like would able to be deal with it or might, go in another direction when it comes to that. I would personally be like, no. This happened to me, and this is how you don't need it to happen to you. And if it has happened to you, this is how you go about it. Like, I would want to help people that have been through what I've been through, as opposed to, like, being like, oh, my God, I was in this situation, and I want you guys to feel sorry for me because I don't want that. Like, I want you to know, like, because I went through this, this is why I'm strong. Yeah. So that's how I would approach it, as opposed to, like, in a way where it's causing like depression or self-pity or any of that aspects of things.
Yeah, but I kind of get scared that there's a part of it that I won't be able to control, like something that's so subconscious about.
That's life though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You can't, and once you figure out the point of like things are out of your control, things are so much easier.
Yeah.
Especially with reality TV. Like you have no control over what they put out. You could be the villain. You could be the on reality TV. When I did reality TV, I was the nagging girlfriend. And it's like, well, what y'all don't know is before I did reality TV, this was already a topic of discussion. So I wasn't the nagging girlfriend. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we might have had 6 months of filming, but they only put the moments of, hey, I want the ring, not the necklace, in there to where I'm like, okay, we're going crib shopping, but where's my ring? Or we're getting a new car, but where's my ring? And it's like, that was not the 6 months of filming, but that's what was broadcast. It goes back to saying, like, with reality TV, they only showcase what they want to showcase, not what you want them to showcase, Yeah. So I feel like it's in that content of, like, what you want out there versus what they put out there, And, like, I feel like that would be my situation with the child abuse. I would be like, all right, this is what I'm putting out there, not what I want them to make me feel like or feel like less than. Right. So that would be my reasoning.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right.
I believe you.
Are you ready for this one?
That look that you gave me makes me feel like I'm not, but all right, I'm ready.
All right. I'm going to give you the easy one first.
Okay.
Find out everyone you're close with actually hates you and they're only in your life out of pity. Or
pity is crazy.
Crazy, right? Every time you masturbate, someone will vomit on you within 24 hours.
Oh, the latter. I'll do the latter. Yeah, that's easy.
So which one's the latter?
The last one. Yeah.
The masturbate.
Yeah, I do that. Because I feel like, here's my thing. One, I just think that I've recently been very adamant on not doing that,
right.
Or at least not as much as I used to,
right.
when you're a horn crazed teenager or whatever,
right, of course.
Whatever. So like, to me, I almost feel like it would give me a reason not to do it for sure.
Right.
It would be
mental
like that.
Note.
Mental note, definitely not to do it. And what was the first one again?
The first one is find out everyone you're close with actually hates you and they're only in your life out of pity.
That everyone?
That's
like even family?
That's insane.
You know how depressing that would be? Like, nah, I would. Yeah, I don't
Kill
want
me.
That. Yeah.
Dead me off.
Yeah, literally.
Because I genuinely take pride in how I make people feel. Like I strive off of like, I'm naturally a nurturer. So I like want to nurture all the time and I want to help people grow and I want to help people do whatever it is that they want to do. And I want to push people and be like, hey, you could do this, or don't you think you're better at this? Or don't you think you'll be good if you try this out? Like I'm constantly pushing, and I feel like my reason in this world is to like whatever motivation that may be towards, whether it's podcasts, whether it's charity, whether it's helping team members or whatever the case is, I feel like that's my reason why. And I feel like if everyone was in my life out of pity, I would be like, damn, everything I did was like, it's like your heart drops. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what was
if it's
my
out
purpose?
of pity, you almost think that they don't appreciate what you did.
Yeah, and like, what is my purpose of living at this point? If it's like no one loves me and it's like my whole purpose is to love, like that's insane.
Yeah. I mean, because don't they say like loneliness is really like the number one killer of people, or the number one cause of suicide? Or I can't remember what the stat
something
is.
along those lines.
But like loneliness is more dangerous than a lot of different vices that you may have.
Like when I used to work in the hospital and people would like be, you know, at the last of their last. And then it's like, is there someone we can call to come see you? You know, and there's like no one they can call. And it's just like, I have to literally like, I wouldn't be able to go home at night and sleep if I didn't sit here and hold this person's hand, because they have no, like, who wants to die alone? Yeah. You know, like that feeling of like no one's here, like, or just someone's just around because they feel sorry for you and they don't really like you is insane. Yeah, I don't want that. And it's almost like it's not the validation that you want. It's the actual, like, I don't even know what to call it. It just the care, I guess. Like, you know, like I genuinely care for someone. They hate me. Hate is a very strong word. Hate is I want you to die. Right. Like literally want you to die. Yeah. And it's like you're only around because you feel sorry for me. That goes back to like, for example, the abuse, right? If you're in an abusive childhood and people are only around because you've been abused and not for who you are. And it's just like, damn, you're only around because you know what happened to me, but not who I am as a person. You know, and then that who you are as a person could be just an evil, you know, mean person because you've been abused. So it's just like deeper rooted issues have caused you to be this character of an individual. But it's like, how do you help fix that? You know?
Yeah, that's tough.
What would Jesus do?
What would Jesus do?
They're not masturbating. I know that.
Definitely not the masturbating. Yeah, I don't think he would do that. Yeah. No, but I agree. I feel like the pity thing is tough. But I think we're social creatures, you know? Yes. Like none of us are meant to be just purely in isolation. That's why like the pandemic was so detrimental towards so many people. Like I even faced it too, like where I was like, yo, I'm in here by myself.
I loved the pandemic. I enjoyed the pandemic.
Oh, so you liked being like, by yourself?
Well, it wasn't. I wasn't by myself. I was with all the kids and my man, and you know, we actually got to spend quality time because we're all so busy. Everyone has school. Everyone has work. Right. Like we're all so busy in our careers and our lives, and it's like we actually got to spend like quality time together. Like we got to get in the pool, we got to teach the kids how to swim, we got to get on the boat, we got like the lake is to ourselves, nobody's on the lake or on the boat.
See that,
like, it was a whole like it was like we were on vacation for a long time.
Especially when there's a loving relationship and then a loving relationship with children. See, that fulfills the social component that we need as humans. But if you're like me, I was single, living by myself in this apartment in Philly, you know, like, you know, you hearing fireworks outside, but are those gunshots? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I was kind of with. So it was just a different experience, but you know, that's
the pandemic, it either worked or it didn't work. And there was people that were in a relationship and was like, damn, I gotta spend all this time with this person now. Where you're just like, I don't know if I could do this. You know?
Or so you get into a relationship because you're alone.
And then there's pandemic babies too. Where it's like, oh, well, I had a baby during the pandemic and it's a whole situation now. So, you know. Yeah,
that's a lot. Thank God I didn't deal with that. I was that would have been so bad coming out of the pandemic with man, just in my situation. For everybody else maybe not, but for me I couldn't.
Right. So tell everyone where they can find you, what you have coming up, all that good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So if you want to follow me on Instagram or on TikTok, it'll be at Tailored Fit. So at TAYLORD _FIT_, and that's both for TikTok and Instagram. If you're looking to work with me as your online fitness coach, click the link in my bio. I'd love to work with you. We can set up a call from there. Other than that, I have a podcast that's coming out soon. I'm really excited to talk about, but you know, We haven't released a lot of info on it yet, but I'll just leave it at that because I'm going to be co-hosting with a friend of mine. So
is it going to be a fitness podcast?
Nah, it's going to be we just going to talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. It's going to be.
Are you going to name it Taylor Talks?
No.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I got a co-host.
Don't copy my pod. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just
like I got this document here. You know what I mean?
I got the blueprint.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I'll keep it at that for now.
Okay, so make sure you guys tune into his upcoming podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Follow him on Instagram. Get his online coaching with him.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, TikTok. You know where to find him, and that is it for Telli Talks.